Still quacking.
This morning in the kitchen, Chef Nick Rabar from Avenue N joins us, and we are making duck risotto, but I believe there's mushrooms involved.
There's more to it than just duck. We're doing some mushrooms also.
What officially are we making here this morning?
We're making a braised duck and wild mushroom risotto.
All right.
So I have been on the show so many times, and I have never done a risotto, and it's such a simple dish.
Just pound it up.
I'm going to give it to you right there.
Let's do it. Now tell me what the ingredients are here that will be in the mushroom risotto.
Well, risotto is known for the specific type of rice and cooking style that goes along with it. So
Okay.
we're using Aborio Rice.
Beautiful.
All right? It's a short grain, high starch rice. We're doing chicken broth. 1 part rice.
Okay.
3 parts chicken broth.
All right, I'm
okay?
trying to process.
No, you got to absorb it all.
Because I know nothing about this.
Well, this is something you want to make.
Well, I know that
This
already.
is what's for dinner tonight.
All right.
Wild mushrooms, a little blend of, these are locally cultivated for us from our friends down in Middletown. This is shiitakes, this is oyster mushrooms, this is cremini mushrooms. We have braised duck.
Oh.
So this duck, it looks so simple. It's just this shredded meat here, but it's salt cured for 48 hours, slowly braised in its own fat for 6 hours. Cooled, pulled. It's very special duck. So this dish looks so simple, but you got to have the duck ready to go. A little bit of fresh herbs, some Demi-Glace, some Arugula, some onion, some truffle oil, some Parmesan, some butter, some salt, some pepper.
It never ends. The fun is just beginning. Chef Nick Rabar, you're here all morning. We'll have it prepared by the end of the show. We can't wait.
I can't either.
For now, back over to you. Ayla in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. I'm with Nick, whose favorite movie is Braveheart.
Braveheart, baby.
He loves that one.
Love that one.
That actually won an award. By the way, I got a little word in my ear. Shawshank lost to Forrest Gump, so that was a tough battle.
Way. Well,
right?
Gump's a good movie.
It is. They're both good. Anyways, let's chat food now.
All right, you're on. Well, we're doing the duck and mushroom risotto.
Yeah.
And
it smells so good in here.
I know. You know, it's nice and hearty and comforting, and it's familiar smells.
Yeah.
You know, it's familiar smells. Right now we've got some of the chicken broth simmering, and we're sauteing some onions. So
yeah, when I walked in, I said, you know, it kind of resembles like you're making soup.
Correct.
On a
Well,
nice cold day.
Exactly. And that's what we've got going on here, and I've got some rice. Okay, so this is the Aborio rice. When you're doing risotto, there really is only 1 or 2 types of rice you want to use. You want to use the cannaroli, or you want to use the Aborio. I always use the Aborio. So saute the onions, and you want a decent amount in there. You know, I always recommend using a sweeter onion. So we're using Vidalia onions. And now you get the rice in with the olive oil, and you kind of just let it toast up for a second.
let it do its thing.
You don't want to burn it, because you don't want it to taste necessarily like that nutty flavor that can happen.
So keep it moving in there.
Keep it moving.
Be mindful.
Now, risotto is all about, it's the rice and how you cook it.
Okay.
So we're going to add liquid in 3 different increments. So you start by adding, you're using 1 part rice to 3 parts of stock.
Okay.
Okay? And you want to add each, so we use 1 cup of rice, 3 cups of stock, and you add 1 cup, reduce, 2nd cup, reduce, 3rd cup, reduce. And
that's the process.
That's the process.
You were saying is so important to create that nice risotto flavor.
Correct. Flavor and
beautiful.
And texture also, the creaminess of it.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to keep going with this. Takes a little bit, but I'll tell you what, the finished product I'm sure is going to be delicious.
It's worth the time.
We'll finish it up at the end of the show.
We're back in the Rhode Show kitchen, still discussing our favorite movies.
Yes.
Gladiators.
Gladiators, another
That's
good
a good one.
Love that
Nick
one, too.
said if we had the blue paint, he would have had half
Right
of his
here.
face.
Yeah,
for
right.
Braveheart.
Like that half right there. All right, but getting back to risotto.
Yes.
What we did before was we added 1 part stock, reduced, another part, reduced, another part, reduced.
How long do you let it reduce
That's
for?
it. This probably takes 15 minutes, so it's probably 5 minutes uncovered, see all the steam, letting it all release, and you've got risotto.
That's it.
So now what's
The texture is great.
It's what it's all about is the texture. So now at this point, you do anything you want with the risotto. You can serve it as is. You can do just cheese. You can pop a chicken breast on top. You can put spinach. You can put sun-dried tomatoes. You can put anything. We're taking this nice winter flavors though, and we're gonna make a duck and wild mushroom risotto. I've got this reduced duck jus here, which I'm going to fold in, add a little bit of color, a little bit of body.
And what is jus for folks at home?
Well, it's a reduction of all of the duck parts. Okay, so it's like a stock.
Right, juice.
The juice, exactly right. So that's going to reduce that. And all we're going to do with all these ingredients now is just fling it in there. So like I said, you can do anything you want when you're making risotto. Wild mushroom is certainly one of the more popular and
See
it's
that a lot.
generally coupled with a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Okay. So far,
Generally
so good.
coupled with a little bit of butter. Okay.
Yep.
A little bit of fresh herb,
Yum.
and we're gonna throw our duck in there.
What herbs did you use? Nick?
I just used oregano. Thyme would work well too.
Okay.
Rosemary would work well too. So now, when you stir all this in and you let that butter is really going to add the creaminess. Some
Right.
people put heavy cream. Some people put wine. There's a lot of options here, but I don't want to dilute the perfection of what this is going to
Okay.
be,
Yeah.
and not taking the credit for it. But
Right.
it really is a great use of duck. Because duck can be pricey. This is just a little bit of duck.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, you pick it apart like that, and it'll add the mushrooms. There's a lot going.
Even
into this dish.
the taste of duck. We've had duck before, and sometimes duck can be almost like a greasy. But
Yes.
you've done a lot to it beforehand, right?
Yeah, so what I did with it was I took the legs, I salt cured them, let it sit for 48 hours, then I braised it,
Right.
then I removed the fat,
Okay.
and then I just took the lean meat from the dark meat. And now that's all we've got going on in here. So we did put a little bit of butter, we did put a little bit of cheese.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the dead of winter. This is a very hearty dish. So that's, I mean, it's that simple. Now I've got a little bit of truffle oil here. Use it or don't. All right, truffle oil is like the most controversial ingredient I think I've ever bumped into. There's people
Really?
that say it's horrid, stay away from it. There's people
Really?
that say I swear by it. I'm somewhere in between.
Okay.
But when you're cooking with mushrooms, truffle oil has this very
They go
aromatic.
together so well.
They do go together, and risotto it goes so well too.
Yep.
And you just can't get fresh truffles for any reasonable price.
Yeah.
I had one recently gifted to me by a friend. It was about that big. It's probably $400 for
Oh
that
my
tiny little
God.
thing.
What? Wow.
Yeah, it's really crazy expensive. But truffle oil,
ridiculous.
you can get a bottle, a good bottle, a reasonably sized bottle for $15, $20 at the store. Still sounds expensive, and that's it,
But
guys.
you use it sparingly, so it will last.
It'll last you forever. You buy a bottle of truffle oil, it will literally last you forever. I mean, sit in your cupboard, use it when you're doing little things like this. Don't overuse
Yeah.
it. And that's it. So our risotto came out beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I
put
just-
that in there.
Can folks find things like this either on your menu or even at the pantry?
Totally.
Because you mentioned a lot of prep that you do with the duck. If you don't have that kind of time at home, something like the pantry, which is right next to Avenue
Yeah, it's
N,
just so
is a
convenient.
great
Yeah.
option.
It absolutely is, and this is a very Avenue N style dish right here.
Okay.
This is what we do there. We make great food, comfort food, simple, seasonal, and this risotto is an excellent example of what we're all about. So just taking that risotto, piling it high. We'll
Put
top
some
with a
garnish.
little bit of the fresh arugula. The arugula is perfect. It's seasonal. It's nice and nutty. It goes great. Sprinkle of Parmesan cheese.
Wow.
And we've got a very,
There you
very,
go.
very simple, very down-to-earth dish.
Perfect.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
this is
Party
what it's
for
all
today.
about.
God, absolutely. All right, we're going to dig
Breakfast
in.
is served.
If you want this recipe, head on over to the Rhode Show page at WPRI.com.
Thanks, guys.